This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. If you haven't heard already, it's smooth sack summer. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're scaped from pubes to bum. That's right, this is the summer to keep your balls cool while still looking hot with Manscaped. The leader in below-the-belt grooming is making sure we all have a ball this summer by giving our pants partners everything they need to stay fresh. Dive headfirst into smooth sack summer by going to Manscaped for 20% off and free shipping with our code CUPodcast.
The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. That's a ton. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. No snags. So that you have the perfect haircut. Use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest barbecues. Most importantly, use the Crop Preserver ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. With a soothing aloe vera formula, it's the best in the business for below-the-waist freshness. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag that will bring your comfort to another level. And if you're wearing sandals with some nasty toenails during the summer months, well, take a look at the Shears 2.0, a luxury nail grooming kit. This kit includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. With the Performance Package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure you cover the rest with the Shears 2.0.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CUPodcast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CUPodcast at manscaped.com. It's smooth sack summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind. Ian.
Patrick.
There was a major Heritage Auctions WADA Grade Games event, the signature auction, August 5th to 6th.
Yes.
Obviously, at this point, it's almost a couple weeks old, but we thought this would be important to bring up. We didn't have time last week because this is the first one that we've tracked since the lawsuit, class action lawsuit announced in late May. And so, plus we have obviously the downturn of NFT and cryptos. We might be going into a recession, inflation. So a lot of things are happening here. Plus, we thought this was all colluded bubble anyway. So want to check in and see what was happening with the results on this auction. And boy, they did not disappoint. They did not disappoint at all. This was being tracked not just by myself, people like a friend of the show, Carl Jopes, who let me know a couple pieces of information that we will be discussing. So before we get into the what we think is evidence of the bubble deflating quicker than Ian, popping a bubble yum in 1989. Going for that analogy, I don't know. There were a couple of sales that were big. Not to say that some of these are big sales, but we're going to look at sort of the history of these items and sort of the similar grading and similar type. But there was a Legend of Zelda that went for $384,000, a WADA 9.6 A+ sealed. Went for $384,000, which is nuts. We can't track any trend though, because this is the only one I saw. Historically, that was a 9.6 here.
Right, so it's a little difficult to say much of anything.
And the same with a Duck Hunt, which is actually a hell of a lot rarer because it's a sealed matte sticker first production, the one you get in the test market, like the one up there. I have one up in there, not sealed though. That went for $144,000, a 9.2. Can't track it historically. What's been going on? But boy, oh boy, we can track several others historically, what they've done over the past years. And boy, will we. Real quick, there's a couple examples from that Carl sent me. GoldenEye 64 and Mario Kart 64. So he sent me these on the Discord. The GoldenEye, Ian, went for, this was a 9.2 A+ sealed GoldenEye 64. It went for $14,400. And you'd say to yourself, well, Pat, that's a lot of money for a GoldenEye, right? Oh, yeah, it is. But you know what? It was more in April. It went for the same grade, went for $26,400 in April. So that's a Pat math decline.
It declined by over 50%.
That's about almost 50% decline, about 40-something percent. And then before that, Ian, from April, It was at 31.2 thousand in January. So Pat math, that's like a 65% decrease, 60% decrease in 6 months, in 7 months, from end of January to early August.
Wow.
So the people that spent the money, and that's just this one grade, you just lost at least $17,000 in several months for that one alone. The Mario Kart one, though, Ian, is even more alarming. You see the Mario Kart stuff?
Which one? The 9.6?
We're talking the 9.6, but also there's 9.4s here. Okay? So we'll go through these a bit here. So the last one, it looks like, let's see. August 5th, a 9.6 Mario Kart 64. A plus sealed. Do it once.
Sealed.
Went for $48,000. All right? Common ass game, Mario Kart 64. Hey, you like it? It's Mario Kart. It's not even the first in the series, but whatever. We never even talk about that much. Why is it going for that much? It doesn't make any sense.
People love it. That's all.
$48,000 on August 5th, right?
And it went for, let's see, do we have a 9.6?
You have close grades. People are going to say, oh, it's not the same one. You had ones going for more money in lesser grades.
Yeah,
early.
from December 9th, 2021, you have a 9.4 that went for 108,000.
So you have a better grade 9-10 months later going for, what is that? Almost 60,000 less.
Yeah.
A better grade. This.
Well, and there is a 9.6 A++ seal that went in April of this year for 144,000, and this
Sure.
Mario Kart 64 9.6 A+ seal went for $48,000. So almost
$100 grand.
$100 grand.
$100 grand decrease, and before you proponents that say, well, it's an A++ versus an A+, go fuck yourself. Ask that person that bought it back in April, only a few months before, if they think that extra plus is worth $100,000, and try to convince someone else it is.
Right.
For a slightly better seal. It's the same grade. I missed that, Ian. Good thing you
We
pointed
don't
that out.
even have to look at that, though, because the fact that a higher graded went for
lower than the lower graded ones before. A 9.4 A plus in April went for 66,000, so a lesser grade went for more. And then a 9.4 A plus in December went for 108,000. So whatever way you slice it, this is bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
This is not just a deflation when you see this. This is the cliff. You are starting to tumble down the cliff when you see this. October, a 9.4 A plus went for 66,000. So all these lesser grades going for a hell of a lot more money, and one going for 60,000 more, and a 9.6 going for almost 100,000 less in only 3 months. Ask yourselves out there, people that are critical of us that obviously are heavily invested in this market. Do you feel confident now about this market and how it was formed? Do you think this was natural and organic? Or do you think it was a lot of people partnering with each other and cooperating to sort of puff up this market and get in more money because they were in early, and now you have these later people being left with the bag? Or is this just a correction to you? Is it a correction for something to drop $100,000 in 3 months? Is that a correction? There's more, Ian. Is there more?
There's more.
How about a Pokemon Red? The Rattata version. I don't know what that means. I am not going.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. But so a Pokemon Red, 9.8 Rattata early production. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to pretend to know what that means. January 28th, Ian, it went for $75,000. And then 7 months later, the same exact 9.8 A plus sealed, the same exact production, 45,000. It dropped, what is that, 40%? Something like that. Dropped 40% in 6 months, 7 months. 7 months drop right there. You want to look at Mike Tyson?
I'm looking up someone for later on. Go ahead and do Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out just went for, this was a 9.6 A+ sealed. Later production went for $102,000. And then I will search right now on the handy dandy tab here. $102,000 August 5th. Let's see. I thought I had one queued up that was, maybe it was a worse grade. Maybe that's what it was. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, a 9.8 went for $312,000 back in October. So if you make the argument that, well, Pat, it's a 0.2 above, it's going to be worth over 200,000 more. I guess you can make that case if you want to, but that's still very troubling. Very troubling. I thought I saw another grade though that was bad. That was okay. Oh yeah. Okay, here it is, Ian. This is what I wanted to say. Okay, the 9.6 went for 102,000. A 9.2 went for more money in January. A lesser grade went for $114,000. So you that bought that lesser grade for more money, you think you feel confident about that investment? You think you feel confident about that 9.2? Not knowing how many of these are out there that are still being graded. There's a year backlog reportedly of WADA grading these. CGC is starting to grade these. VGA, people have...
Buy the dip, they say.
Buy the dip, just put in more money.
Just put in more money.
Keep buying to keep the prices going. What's the one Ian you wanted to comment on?
I was looking up Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, well that's the denouement.
Yes,
because that one's bad.
Yeah, we'll
I mean, these are all bad.
We'll come to Sonic in a second.
We'll come to Sonic in a bit.
There's a lot of facets to Sonic.
When I first saw Resident Evil, Ian, I was like, this is impressive. This is interesting. The long box PlayStation games, I actually have some down there. I think they're interesting to collect the long box. It's only the very, very first PlayStation games.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge amount. Was there 30 or 40 of them? There wasn't like a huge amount.
No,
of them.
not a ton.
When they came out for the first like 6 months or so before they went to the small.
They've got longer art. You know, they looked kind of interesting. There was this
the
weird
ridge on it.
Yeah, there was this weird, I don't know, desire in like the mid to late 90s to start putting all of these games in long boxes for reasons I never understood, when CD cases just seemed to make so much more sense.
Yeah.
PlayStation had long boxes, Saturn, Sega CD. Dumb.
Okay, so this one I thought, oh, this is impressive. I thought that, okay, this went for $192,000. By the way, you can make an offer to them immediately for $288. Blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck would do something like that, by the way? Who would say, well, I just lost on it. Here's almost 100,000 more because I missed out on it. Who the hell would think that's
right?
Is there someone out there that would be dumb enough to do that? I guess so with this market and people throwing this money around.
I just want to get out of it what I put into it.
So I went for $192,000. I said, Ian, that's impressive. They're not all bad. But then I looked at past sales. The same grade, a 9.6 A+ in October, went for $264,000. It's a $70,000 decrease in about 10 months. 70,000 increase.
That's a house in the Midwest.
That's a pretty damn nice car.
Yeah.
Fools on their money, huh? Do you think these people that even bought these in 2021 and basically 2021, where we saw the craziness happen with the Mario 64, you think they're starting to panic? You think they're like, wow, what the hell did I get myself into?
Well, I don't think, probably not, because the people who got into this were people with money to burn.
Doesn't mean you want to lose money. People,
no, it doesn't. But I don't think they're panicking necessarily.
I don't know. There's a reason why people are frugal. That a lot of people earn their wealth from not from necessarily from scratch, but they think about these things. This is alarming. This is alarming. You don't want to just toss around money just and be lost. That's my opinion. Maybe they
didn't earn their wealth.
What's that?
Maybe they didn't earn their wealth.
So yes, I guarantee you some didn't, but I think some did. Some think that this probably was a wise investment, like their other past investments. You know what I mean? Before we get into Sonic, Ian, what is conspicuous in its absence? What game has been more conspicuous in its absence?
I think people are afraid to see what happens with the next Mario 64. So you have not really seen Mario 64s put up for auction.
Not in the same quantity.
No.
The most common N64 game, by probably a decent margin, you are not seeing the plethora of them being auctioned like you did last year.
Sure.
I don't want to say there was a glut, but you definitely saw people cashing in, and the auction houses who get their 20% or 25% on top, you see them as well. They cashed in, and there's been a lot less. Only a 9.4 came to auction recently, and a 9 came to auction, and a 9.4. I think they are deathly afraid of doing those 9.6 and 9.8s.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Sure.
I think they are deathly afraid of auctioning them off. Now I'm just curious what the 9.4s have been going for, because those are the only ones that looks like with a record recently. 9.4s. So there was a 9.4 A plus that went for 33.6 in August, and before that, 33.6. Before it was, there was one that went for 30, so about the same. Not a lot of Mario 64s on here. Yeah. At 9.4, a lesser grade went for more money in January, went for 38. I think they are scared to bring out the Mario 64s. Sure. I think Heritage Auctions and the sellers are fucking scared, and they should be. You should be crapping your pants out there, especially if you bought the ones for 1.5, and the ones below that went for, was it like several $100,000 and 500, the ones that came out after those 9.8s, the one that was a VGA like equivalent. Yeah. You should be crapping your pants because you got fucked. You got fucked. And the fact that we're not seeing 9.6s even being auctioned off.
Well, they say there's only 3 right now.
For 9.8?
Oh, 9.8, right? Yeah.
No, 9.8. I thought there was 3. There was 3 that were auctioned, but I think there's more out there.
Oh, I'm sure there's more out there, but when they released the reports, the population reports, I think it only said there was 3.
Oh, I thought there was more than that. I thought there was at least 5. But anyway, either way, the fact that we're not seeing even 9.6s being auctioned off, and these 9.4s are in lesser quantity, I think they're scared, because that was the linchpin. That's what got all the eyes on it. That's what got Carl in Discord. Hey Pat, what's up with this Mario Kart 64? That's what he said to me a little over a year ago. I said, well, here's why this is crazy. That's what happened. So it was the worst thing that got the eyes, and obviously that was the crazy peak for a lot of this stuff.
All right, so here's the weird one to close off this segment with. The craziest one.
And your guy, too. Your guy, Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog. WADA 9.6. A seal.
Okay. What did it just go for?
Sold for $102,000.
Oh, on the service, Ian, that's a lot of money for the most common Genesis game.
Oh, sure. However,
what
it went for? I don't think it was it's not not for resale one, so it's probably not as common, but still, sure. Whatever. Sonic the Hedgehog WADA 9.6 A sealed. Pretty sure it's the exact same one. Sold in October 2021 for $312,000, roughly a $200,000 loss. And if you want to see something else, the one that just sold for $102,000 is a WADA 9.68 seal.
An A seal, okay.
A Sonic the Hedgehog WADA 9.6 B plus seal on January 28th, 2022, sold for $240,000. So again, a copy in a minorly better condition, but a better condition has sold for over 50% less than one that sold in January.
240,000, a worse condition one sold for 140,000 more. That person lost at least $140,000 in 6 months. This is what happens when people don't do their due diligence, don't know the history of game collecting, don't know what's actually coveted, what games are actually rare. This is what happens when you allow articles to be written by authors who run amok with not checking facts, not knowing relations between people, interviewing dentists for some reason, think that they're like some sort of big collector that knows a lot what's going on when they're just investing and speculating. This is the result. This is the result. And this is just the beginning. This is not the end of this. This is not a correction. We're talking six-figure losses in months, and only a couple of months in a couple of places in a few months. You think the people that already have money in this, they see this, they're thinking this is going to go back up, or you think they're going to try to dump as quickly as possible?
We're gonna dump.
They tried their experiment. They're
going to take their poops.
I mean, I have a source who works with people that, quote unquote, got into this the past few years, and they want to get out. Some were saying, how do I get rid of this stuff as expediently as possible?
Throw it up on the next auction, and you watch the prices go down and down and down.
But it's in Heritage Auction's interest not to put them out as quickly as possible. They're going to put these out as slowly as possible over years.
Yep.
That's the problem now, is that there's this huge backlog. It's like the same with the Pokemon cards. Once everyone saw the crazy prices, everyone went into the closets. They're going to get them graded, but there's so much out there. There's not enough new buyers, or there's not enough auction slots to even get this stuff.
Well, yeah, this is very basic. So, like, they start throwing stuff up there to sell as quick as possible, but people see these auctions and they're like, no, I don't want to get into this, so they don't fucking buy anything. And your market dwindles, and eventually there's no one to get rid of it too. There's nothing to reclaim. There's no money. You can't get it back.
I gotta check in with our favorite Ian. Our Spider-Man for the Atari 2600.
Oh yeah,
it's our
please,
favorite.
please.
It's the poster boy for this, in my opinion.
It's my favorite.
Remember this? Remember it started about $10,000 for a sealed Spider-Man 9.8. Back then, we said this was fucking insane to go for 10 grand. I think it was like almost 10 grand. It was like 9.6, whatever. And then we just saw it dwindle and dwindle. Like, well, this is common sense because this is not rare at all, and there's a ton of them. The last one looks like went 9.8 June 30th, $1,100. It went for $1,100, and that's with the obviously with the consignment fee on top of it. So it actually got bid up to less than $1,000 on that. It's remarkable to see that someone would still drop $1,000 on that game. To see the amount of sealed Spider-Mans on here. When you search Spider-Man sealed, there's dozens of them in their cute silver boxes. Oh yeah, in September 2020, it was $4,500.
Yep.
October, it went down to 1.8, and then if you have those lesser condition ones, you're just screwed entirely, because there's tons of 9.8s. January of 2021, $1,900. February, like, you just see this decline.
Yeah.
The fact that it's even still at $1,000 is remarkable to me. It's just remarkable. It's remarkable. Whoever, probably the one or two people that owned all those Spider-Mans, they cleaned the hell up. They were sitting on their crusty old boxes for decades, wondering, I can't give these away. And all these rubes just spent all this money on these ass common games. Remarkable, Ian. Well, that's all I got to say about that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I put a note here about the Mario 64. I double checked it. The 9.6 halved in price in April.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We did talk
about that, yeah.
Okay. Again, this is why
it was it halved in price. We definitely did not forget to talk about that.
So this is why they don't want to put out those 9.6 and 9.8s. They're afraid. Heritage is afraid, and whatever the people in the community that work sort of arm in arm with Heritage, they're afraid. Their investments are screwed. People like Nerdy Girl Comics Danielle, who yelled at me in person at Portland 2019 because she thought I was crazy. People heavily invested. This is why people come after you. This is why I get nasty emails from people, because when we talk about it, we are hurting bottom lines potentially because we were talking the truth. When money's at stake, people get nasty. They get nastier. They get more aggressive. So Danielle, when I said hi to Danielle at Comic-Con, I want to have a pleasant conversation. She bristled and ignored me. I said, I just moved on. Wasn't too friendly with me this year because the writing is beyond on the wall. The writing is fucking dripping down at this point, with tears of people that got in early. You might be okay, but you got in at medium or later, you were screwed. Especially if you didn't sell this stuff right away. So there you have it, Ian. Anything else?
No.
Okay.